So, we're turning in this week's parsha to chapter Yud Ches, Pasuk Yud Gimel. Chapter Yud Ches, Pasuk Yud Gimel. Now, prior to that, the Torah forbids us all sorts of like magic trickery in order to work out what's going to happen in the future. You know, choiver, shoyel oye, ridoini, how do you call it? Choiver chover and ma'edan or menachish or mechatchoy. Yeah, all these sort of inyonim you're not allowed to do. And then he says, Tomim tiyeh im Hashem Elokecha. What you should do is, all these things are forbidden. Tomim tiyeh im Hashem Elokecha. You should be, so it's difficult to translate the word Tomim, but what it implies is you should be complete. You know, you should be absolutely fully accepting of your Eibishter. You know, you should be devoted to him, and with a completeness that involves a certain simplicity to it. In other words, something which is very complete and self-contained, absolutely in itself, has a certain simplicity. It's not complex. Right. Like we say, Kavyochel v'negeh to Hashem. We say Hashem is Achtos HaPishuta. You know, he's the complete and utter Achtos, and he's absolute simplicity. In other words, he's not made up of anything. He's just exactly what he is. That's the implication of the pashtos of atonement. So comes along the Balaturium, very interesting thing, and the Balaturium says that he has a Kabbalah that Tomim, at the beginning of that word, should be written with a tough Rabbi, with a big Tov. In the Sefer Torah, it should be a big Tov. And there are certain other great early period commentators that they write the same thing. And then there's certain people, even not terribly far from our time, that they also say that they have a Kabbalah, that's the way it should be, or a Tov, you know, how do you call it? A pig, a Tov Rabati. Now, in our Sefer Torah, it's not that way, because we don't pass it that way. A lot of the big Achronim and everything that they have to do with the Masoiras, you know, they're done in all the Kabbalahs, and they say that that's not correct. That's not the way it should be. Lapoyel, or the Balaturian writes that that's the way it should be. And then he adds a very remarkable, very amazing remark. And he said, why should it be with a tough rubber tee, a big toe? He said, L'lamedcho, that comes to teach you that somebody who is a tomim, somebody who is zeicher to tmimas, he is ke'ilu kiyem et kol ha'torah kula mi aleph ad tov. It's like as if he kept the whole Torah. Shalom. We start at 4, so that's okay. Yeah. He said it's clear that he kept the whole Torah, mi aleph ad tov. You follow? From the beginning up to the end. And that's a very unusual expression. It's almost like a, how do you call it, a homely, vernacular. You know, you want to say somebody does something completely, then you say me'alafat tov. You know, it's a way of saying things. And yet, Hadikon, the Balaturian, he writes clearly that the reason that as a Tov Godel is to tell you that if you're a Tamim, then it's clear that you kept the whole Torah. Me'alef ad Tov. Now that's a pretty, first of all, the expression is unusual. And secondly is, why is it because he was a Tamim, yeah? Why would it be clear that he had the whole Torah? Yeah, Me'alef ad Tov. So, comes along the Targum Onkelos and also the Targum Yonasan, and they write that what does it mean, Tomim Tia? And they say, the Targum Onkelos says, with a simplicity, Shlim Tahei B'tachalta D'Hashem Elkev. So he says that you should be perfect, Shlim. Shlim is from the word Shlemas, yeah. You should be perfect in the fear of Hashem. Now the word fear is not written in the Torah. So he's learning a Pashat, and he's saying that what does it mean to be Tomim? What is a Tomim? Somebody who is perfect in fear of the Eibishter. You follow? That's already like a slightly new view of the whole thing. That if you want to be considered perfect, then you have to be Emasi Yiras Hashem, Yirei Hashem. Yeah. So he said, there's an old saying from the certain of the great Polish Rabbi that they used to say that a Yirei Hashem is somebody who never opens Sefer Moshe. That's a real Yirei Hashem. So everybody, how can he be a Hashem if he never learns? So that's to learn the Moshe. How can that be? So he said, the real Yirei Hashem, he said, it's tough to somebody who learns the Sefer Moshe. But he said, if you don't open a Sefer Moshe, then you think you're a Yirei Hashem. And you're convinced that you're a Yirei Hashem.
Right.
Yeah? Because you don't really understand where your faults might be. So you really think you're wacko, you really think you're great. But if you do learn Sifrei Musa, then you realize, and then you don't think you're a Yirei. Then you're not of the opinion at all that you're a Yirei. And I once heard from a Chassidus Yid, not a Chabad thing, but a Chassidus Yid in Melbourne, Australia, before I left Australia. And he said, what is a Sifrei Musa? What is it? He was a Polish, he knew the idea. And he said, what is a Sifrei Musa? He said, a Gemara with a bit of taste of it. He said, that is the best Sefer Musa. So I said, yeah, but that's the only Sefer Musa, a Gemara with a bit of taste of it. And he said, listen, he said, when you don't learn Gemara with taste of it, so then, you don't realize what is really going on with Seichel and with real appreciation. He said, when you learn a bit of Gemara with taste of it, and you see how their holy minds were working, and you see the unbelievable insight that these guys had with a kasha and a terror, it's unbelievable what they achieved. Then you begin to realize just how much your way out is. He said, that's the best Sefer Musa. Yeah, that's what I heard from him. So I'm just sharing that with you. Yeah. So from that it comes out that you can't have this tamimas, can't be a tomim if you don't have Yiras Hashem. But it has to be Yiras Hashem that you all the time improving in Yiras Hashem. You're all the time realizing that up to now you're not a real Yirei Hashem, and you're becoming more, going more, until eventually maybe you'll reach a level where you'll be perfect in Yiras Hashem. You follow? Mm-hmm. So I thought the question, what's Yiras Hashem, got to do with all this? Why is it it's so dependent in Yiras Hashem? In last week's parsha, we had a pasuk that said, "Acharei Hashem Elokeichem teilechu, v'oisei tzavoid, v'oisei tiro." You should serve him and you should have fear of him. Right? Comes along the Ibn Ezra, that's very interesting. Look up the Ibn Ezra and he's v'oisei tiro, you should fear him. Yeah, you know what the Ibn Ezra writes over there? He says, Al tishal lama. That's all. That's what it is. The Ibn Ezra. You should fear the Eibster. You should don't ask why. You must not ask. Why did this happen? Why should this be? Why is this due to me? Me. Don't ask why. The Ibn Ezra learns a very amazing shot. He said, fear of Hashem means that you become completely, the Lashon HaChabad, you become completely botel to Hashem. Yira is bittul. Ahava is where I go out and I am fulfilling myself. But Yira is bittul. The more I have genuine fear of Hashem, the more I become completely bottled within myself. I become, Over Mela, he said, if you're really bottled to Hashem, then you're not going to ask any questions. So if you don't ask any questions, what's going to happen with you? So you've got room to go ahead. What stops us from going ahead is all the questions we have.
Right.
Why that maybe. But if you don't ask Lama, then you just go ahead. You're hadikot, you're open, and you're, as it were, panui, to use the expression. You're not disturbed. You're free. You just go ahead. That's the Ibn Ezra. So perhaps on that basis, that's what the Targum Okles and the how do you call it, the Targum Yaina said. But that's what they mean. If you're shalim b'yira, you have as much yira as you're supposed to have. You never ask why, and you're not choiker. How do you call it? You don't, how do you call it, inquire into things. Why was this? What's going on? As soon as you begin inquiring, you begin asking yourself, what's going to be with me? What's going to happen with me? What am I going? What's my future? You become osik with all sorts of things of trying to determine your own future. I mean, to a certain extent, a man has the right to prepare a way in himself for parnasa, but there are chamuter of chassidus and so. But he's not busy with all sorts of questions of what's going to be. Maybe I won't be this, and maybe I won't be. What's going to happen? Am I going to find this? Am I going to have that? That's my vow, the man. If he's a tamim, he's shalim, then he's bottled in that way. He has emasayir as Hashem. He doesn't ask any questions. He has no chakirot, how do you call it? He has no. He's just told him to go ahead. So what does he say? There's a famous story that I once said. This is actually about the Vilna Gaon.
Nice.
But this is a very interesting one. That somebody once came to the Vilna Gaon, and he said he has a kasha in a certain Gemara, and it's preventing him from going out. He's got such a, how come the Gemara says this? It's written in other Gemara that you know, you show me it must be different altogether, you know. It's, you know, what's shut it's disturbing him a great deal, going ahead what he's learned. So they go and said, that's a good kasha, yeah. So they go and said to him, you know what, go home and in this and this Masechta, there's a Tosfos over there, and if you look up that Tosfos, you'll be all right. You should go and look up that Tosfos. So he, you know, he said, mate's so raw. And he gets home and he looks up the Tosfos, and he can't figure for the life of him, what's that Tosfos got to do with it? With what he asked, you know. He just can't see what is the connection between the Tosfos. So he thought maybe something wrong with him. So he passed, you know, he tried to prepare himself as the Vilna Gaon, you know, told him that. So in the end, he just couldn't see what this Tosfos have to do with what he asked. You know? So he just absolutely out, you know, beyond himself. And he comes back very humbly to the Vilna Gaon. He said, listen, Rabbi, I have to admit to you, I can't see what does that Tosfos have to do with what I heard. So the Vilna Gaon said, yeah, you're right. He said, that Tosfos doesn't have to do with what you are. He said, however, did you look at the end of the Tosfos? What is written at the end, it's rare, but it does occur in certain Tosfos that he finishes a certain end, and he says, but Tzorik Iyun. And Tzorik Iyun is a kasha, that's a lesson. In the great Rishonim, Tzorik Iyun is a kasha, and we don't have a terror. The initial of Tzorik Iyun, yeah. It's a well-known expression. So he said, yes, what does that have to do with? And he said, and yet nonetheless, immediately after that, there's another Tosfos. So he said, if Tosfos had a kasha, and his kasha stopped him from learning, well, how come there's another Tosfos? I said, he should say the kasha is disturbing him. He can't go ahead. Well, we said there's all the Tosfos, and you know, immediately after that. So he said the same with you. You have a kasha, just keep learning, and ultimately Hashem will send you the answer. So I thought to myself, that's pretty good going, you know. So he sent him to that Tosfos where Tosfos remained with a kasha. You know. Sometimes you have to remember. But the same thing in Rukniyas. It's a healthy thing sometimes. You know, you have a kasha, you know, you don't quite see how it's all going to work out. You don't see why does it have to be, how does this fit? You don't figure. You know. So you just don't worry, you know, you just go ahead and you be like the Tosfos. You have a question, but in the meantime, you gotta go ahead. You know. Yes, Loimar, that's what the Ibn Ezra, in his unbelievable wisdom, yeah, why over there, but Oisha Tiro, he said, Al Tishal Lama. You mustn't ask why, you understand? You mustn't have questions, you know. And that's the inner of Chakira. How do you call it? Chakira means like inquiry, you know. So therefore, let's see what, and so therefore, certain very great authorities, they come along and they say that the word tam, that's the singular of the word tamim. So the word tamim is not a plural.
Yeah.
Tamim is a singular word, but tamim is like an advance over the basic idea of a tamim is a tam. And so it's written about Yaakov Avinu, that he was a ish tam, is a simon. That Yaakov Avinu is the choice of all the forefathers.
Like an ideas.
He is the highest of all. Okay. It's put down in the Zohar. It's written about him that he was a tam. Yeah? And so since he was a tam, he was able to sit in the tents of Torah, and he was busy the whole time learning. You know? And he caught a Meshuggah Esau and other people that they caused him problems and all sorts of things that were happening around. Of a young, he was a tongue.
Does that mean
Really had no problems. He didn't know why is
Simple
this way and
not
why
like
is
a
it
matter of
why.
reason or
How, he just went ahead, schlim.
Yeah.
He was perfect.
Perfect.
But we find a very
Means to me,
interesting
so.
thing.
He wants,
You
he wants to know how to translate tongue. How
Well, I
do you,
mean, which word are we using?
how
Are
to
we using
translate
simple
tongue, yeah.
or
The same way, in a way, that we're translating tamim.
Okay.
But tamim
Ah,
is
so it's
just
simple,
an
yeah.
advancement on tam. It means like perfect and yet simple,
right?
and yet to a certain extent almost like naive. You know what I mean? Therefore, in modern Hebrew, if you want to say something about somebody who's a bit, he's a bit simple,
Yeah.
so you say, oh, who tamim, That's the way you say it. But it doesn't necessarily mean that he's abnormal. It just means that he's a bit sort of, he just takes everything that just goes ahead, so you say, oh,
Right.
who tamim, So comes along certain of the great early commentators, and they say a very interesting thing. If you turn the letters tam back to front, then what do you get?
The opposite of life.
What is mem tov?
Faith.
The opposite of Chaim, no?
Mate, no ches whatsoever. In other words, if you dray back the whole idea of tam and you turn it upside down, then you don't have any chayim. You're not, to use the expression, you're not really alive. And therefore, tamim is meitim. The ois is tamim. Makes it in the plural, So, comes along Rashi, and Rashi says exactly that. So Rashi said, if you want to be a tamim, says Rashi, au tachur. First thing is, Rashi said, don't make inquiries, just achaha sidois. You're worried about what's going to be in the future, what's going to be with you, and you just go ahead, Au tachur achaha sidois. And he said, Ella, tetzapeloi, you have to wait for Hashem, and you have to rely on Him. Tetzape means to look to Him and rely on Him. Veloi sacher acha, he said, that's going with Him b'tmimas. Ella kol ma sheyove alecha kabel b'tmimas. He said, everything that will happen to you, just take it with tamim. I'm not asking any questions. I'm just with the Eivester, and I'm with him. And whatever he does, that's it, and I'm the covenant, and I have to go further. I got to go ahead with what he wants of a yid, and that's it. I don't have any kasha. So then he says, "Ve'oz tia imoi ulachelkoy," or maybe amoy ulachel. But since the pasuk says "Tomim tia im," it's much more that it's the word "im." He said, then you'll be mamish with the Eibester, and then you'll be like his chelik. Later towards the end of the Torah, it's written, "Ki chelik havaya amoy." The Yidden are like a chelik of Hashem. He said, how do you become a chelik of Hashem? Your mom said, how do you live that way? He said, on the day that you don't make any chakiras, you don't have any kashas, you don't have any problem, you just go ahead and you wait for him, you just look to him, and you say, whatever he will do, that's it. Whatever he does, that's wonderful and that's fine. You take it with a pashtas. He said, then you're imoy, then tomim tia im. Then you're with there, he was good. Mamish, a pashtas. So that's just a brief look at Rashi. So now I'm a little surprised that you guys, I would have thought a hand would have gone up and would have said that, what did the Rebbe Rashab call all of his students?
I thought of it, yeah.
Yeah.
What
Did he call them? He called them Tamimim. Oh,
Yeah. Teammate there.
Tamimim. Now the interesting thing is that there's a difference of opinion here. The Ramban, he says that this is a mitzvah asay, that it's a positive commandment, that you have to be atoned. You got to act that way, you got to do that, otherwise you're being mavatul a mitzvah asay. And he reckons it as one of the Ramban. The Rambam and the Sefer Chinuch, they don't mention it. Yeah. They don't bring it in the meaning of the mitzvah. It comes along the Rambam and he writes in his Akdoma to the Sefer Mitzvahs, the Rambam says wherever there's a tzivui, which is a Klali, and it's a general tzivui, which like embraces everything you do, and it's like part and parcel of all that you do, that's not a mitzvah in its own right. That's like a klal, and it's there in all the mitzvahs individually, but it's not an individual mitzvah. And he gives an example of this, and he says, Tomim tiyeh v'shem ha'akara. In other words, according to the Rambam, it's a general thing that seeps and affects all of your mitzvahs. You follow? All of your inyonim that have to be affected and have to be built around the fact that you're a tamim. You understand? So when the Rebbe Rashab founded the yeshiva in Tov Reish Nun Zion, he founded the yeshiva. And he, by Chayel, Tov Reish Nun Zion. And he never called the yeshiva any name. He just said the yeshiva. And for 2 years it was that way. The yeshiva had no name. Nobody knew what was going to be the name of the yeshiva. In Tov Reish Nun Tes, Simchas Torah, Tov Reish Nun Tes, the Rebbe Rashab was given the last, Hakofa. Al Rabbeim, the Rebbe also, Al Rabbeim were given the first Hakofa and the last Hakofa. And the rest were given to all sorts of important people. Of the first Hakofa and the last Hakofa were given to. So the Rebbe, when I was there, a lot of times I saw the Rebbe, get the Sefer Torah. The Rebbe never said the posik. The posik was said by the Chazan. He would say, whatever it is, to me, and he would say it out, and the Rebbe would just walk, and the Rebbe was going through all these, thousands of people, they're all packed all over the place. You guys think if you know what packing, I was once there I was right there when the Rebbe walked past on Simchas Torah, and when I came out, my whole silk toque was all torn, into pieces. Oh, yeah. There was a washing machine. And they had these guys, special people who were chosen, and they were big, hefty guys, and they had big arms, and they would press back like that. All the goofies and all of them would all get pushed back, and that would make room for the Rebbe to go through. You understand? Well, these guys would you boil them, and they would hold one another by the hand, and they would just press back, and all the goofies would just, it would make a little, sort of path in the middle of all this sheer bodies, just that the Rebbe would be able to go through. So I was once, this arm was pushing me, this huge arm. The sweat was running down my brow, I couldn't see clearly because of the sweat, and I've got this huge arm that's holding, and the Rebbe came through with a Sefer Torah, and the Rebbe said something to me, the the Rebbe looked at me and there was almost like a mist or a smile on the Rebbe's face. I'd say, what are you doing here, you know? The Rebbe sort of smiles and I'd say, you know, this is for you, you know.